Have you ever sat with yourself in the silence of your room and whispered, "God, why me? Why is my life so difficult? Why does it feel like every step forward comes with resistance? Why do other people seem to have it easy, but my journey feels like a constant uphill battle?" Chosen one, let me tell you something that might shake your soul awake. This is not bad luck. This is not coincidence. This is confirmation. You are not struggling because you are cursed. You are struggling because you are called. And the reason your life feels heavier, the reason you feel isolated, the reason you are misunderstood is because you are being set apart for something the average person was never built to carry. See, the world teaches us that blessings feel light, easy, effortless. But heaven tells a different story. Heaven says, with great calling comes great crushing. Before gold shines, it must pass through fire. Before a diamond sparkles, it must survive immense pressure underground. Before an eagle soars, it must fly alone. And before a person becomes who God has called them to be, they must be shaped in silence, in storm, in seasons that feel like suffering. This is the sacred process of the chosen. I want you to pause for a moment and ask yourself, could it be that my battles are proof of my assignment? Could it be that your rejection was not punishment? It was protection? Could it be that every closed door was not denial, it was direction? You see, when God has marked you, really marked you for something higher, He doesn't build you like everyone else. He doesn't rush your process. He doesn't allow you to be comfortable. Instead, He allows you to be refined, to be broken, not to destroy you, but to reveal the strength He placed within you before you were ever born. Let me tell you something dangerous about being chosen. When you are chosen, your life becomes a threat, not just to people, but to systems, to darkness, to generational curses that ruled over your bloodline for decades. Chosen ones shake atmospheres without saying a word. Chosen ones are sent into families to break cycles. Chosen ones are sent into companies, into communities, into places that have been stuck in patterns for years, to disrupt them with truth. But here's the part they don't tell you. Before you can carry that level of power, you must first be able to carry pain. You must first be able to walk through wilderness seasons where nobody affirms you, where nobody claps for you, where nobody sees the battles you're fighting in private. And yet, you rise. You keep moving. You keep believing. Even when heaven is silent, even when friends disappear, even when life feels unfair, because what if I told you? Heaven's silence is not absence, it's preparation, it's strategy. God is allowing you to walk through this season, not because He's forgotten you, but because He's forging you into someone who can't be moved by storm. Think about this. No one builds a skyscraper without first digging deep underground. The higher the building is designed to rise, the deeper the foundation must go. That's why your life feels heavy. That's why the attacks have been fierce. That's why you've been hidden while others were celebrated. Because God is building something in you that must outlast the noise. He's not just building you for this moment. He's building you for legacy. He's building you for rooms you haven't stepped into yet. He's building you for a life that impacts generations after you're gone. So I say to you, this storm is not random. This fight is not in vain. This weight is not here to crush you. It's here to crown you. You don't need to chase approval. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to beg for validation. Because when God has chosen you, no one can unchoose you. Not their opinions, not their rejection, not their betrayal. You are still chosen. You are still rising. You are still on schedule, even if it doesn't look like it. And today, I invite you to lean in. Stay with me until the end of this message, because I'm going to show you exactly why your life has been so hard, and more importantly, why everything you've endured is about to work in your favor. This is not the end. This is your beginning. The storm was never sent to break you. It was sent to reveal you. And now, it's your time to rise. Let's get into it. You're being refined, not punished. Chosen one. If there's one thing you must understand right now, it's this. Hardship is not always punishment. Isolation is not always rejection. Delay is not always denial. Sometimes it's refinement. Sometimes it's heaven's highest form of preparation. See, here's the mistake many people make, especially those with a calling on their life. When life gets hard, when doors close, when friends disappear, when the money dries up, they think, God must be mad at me. Maybe I missed my blessing. Maybe I'm cursed. But what if I told you that thinking is exactly what keeps people stuck? Because the truth is, God doesn't build greatness in comfort. He builds it in fire. The refining fire is a spiritual principle. Let me take you to something ancient, older than any success story you've heard. When gold is found deep in the earth, it doesn't come out shining. It comes out dirty. It's mixed with rock, covered in soil, surrounded by debris. Nobody looks at that chunk of dirty gold and says, wow, that's valuable. But the goldsmith, the master, sees something nobody else can see. He takes that dirty gold and puts it through the fire. Intense heat, pressure, melting temperatures. But why? Not to destroy the gold, but to separate it from everything that does not belong to it. The fire doesn't hurt the gold. The fire reveals the gold. And chosen one, that is what's happening in your life right now. Those battles you didn't ask for. Those nights you cried in silence. Those seasons where you felt invisible. It wasn't punishment. It was fire. It was refinement. It was God saying, I see something inside you that the world doesn't see yet. Let me tell you a real-world story. Let's step away from ancient wisdom for a second and look at a name you probably know, Tyler Perry. Today, he's one of the wealthiest and most influential filmmakers in America. But his story didn't start in a mansion. It started in a car, homeless, rejected, alone. He wrote play after play on Budget, and nobody showed up. He slept in his car for months. Nobody believed in him. Nobody gave him a break. But what if that season of isolation wasn't punishment? What if it was preparation? Because here's what nobody talks about. When Tyler Perry finally broke through, he didn't just make movies. He built an empire. He didn't just get a job in Hollywood. He built his own studio. And get this, his studio sits on land in Atlanta that used to be a Confederate military base. Land that once represented slavery, oppression, and exclusion. Now owned by a black man who refused to quit in the fire. That's refinement. That's God turning pain into power. That's the story of every chosen one. Your story might not look the same, but the pattern is identical. Maybe you're not writing plays, maybe you're not building movie studios, but your life carries the same pattern. You've been hidden while others were celebrated. You've been overlooked while others were elevated. You've been fighting private battles nobody knows about. But I'm here to tell you, that's not evidence that God is punishing you. That's evidence that God is preparing you. He doesn't waste oil on people who aren't built to carry it. He doesn't rush diamonds out of the ground before they're ready. And he doesn't send chosen ones into their destiny until they can stand under the weight of it. Real refinement looks like this. 1. Your circle gets smaller. Not because you're antisocial, but because God is protecting your energy. 2. Opportunities dry up. Not because you're not good enough, but because heaven is waiting until the right doors open. 3. You feel isolated. Not because you've been forgotten, but because God speaks the loudest in the quiet. 4. You lose things you thought you needed, not because you're cursed, but because weight slows down those who are called to flee. The pattern is biblical too. Let me remind you of Joseph. He was sold into slavery by his own brothers, thrown into a pit, forgotten in prison. But when the moment came, when the preparation was complete, he didn't just survive, he ruled. He was promoted to second in command over Egypt, a position of influence, wealth, and power. But what built Joseph was not the palace, it was the pit, it was the prison, it was the fire. And you're in your refining season. That doesn't mean your story is over. It means you're in the middle of the most important part. The part where your character is being sharpened. The part where your discernment is being heightened. The part where God is stripping away everything that doesn't align with your future. Yes, it feels lonely. Yes, it feels unfair. Yes, it feels confusing. But please hear me. God is not punishing you. He is preparing you. Because here's the thing about being chosen. You don't get built like everyone else. You don't get to skip the fire. You don't get to bypass the struggle. You don't get to avoid the wilderness. Why? Because your crown costs more. Your calling carries weight. And God is making sure that when you rise unshakable. The takeaway lesson for you today. Chosen one, stop asking God to take you out of the fire. Start asking God to finish what He started in the fire. Because the same flames that are testing you now are the same flames that will reveal you later. Let them talk about you. Let them overlook you. Let them laugh at your pain. Because one day, they'll be telling your story. Just like Tyler Perry. Just like Joseph. Just like every person who was ever refined before they were crowned. You're not being buried. You're being planted. You're not being punished. You're being purified. Stay faithful. Stay ready. Your palace moment is coming, and when it does, you'll look back on this season not with bitterness, but with gratitude, because the fire didn't destroy you, it revealed you, and now you'll rise in a way no one saw coming. You are not being attacked because you are weak. You are being attacked because you are marked. Chosen one, have you ever sat in silence wondering, why does it seem like the moment I take a step toward my destiny, everything starts working against me? Why is it that just when you start getting your life together, when you begin walking in purpose, people change? Friends turn into strangers, support turns into silence, and those you thought would clap for you suddenly disappear. Let me tell you why. Because spiritual attention will always attract earthly opposition. This is not a coincidence, it's spiritual law. Heaven's favor will always disturb hell's agenda. When light begins to shine in a dark place, two things happen. The right people will be drawn to you, and the wrong people will be disturbed by you. You see, in the story of Joseph, his own brothers didn't just dislike him. They hated him, not because of anything Joseph did wrong, but because of what was placed on him. A dream, a calling, a destiny. Joseph's gift made his brothers uncomfortable. His favor exposed their insecurity. And the same thing is happening in your life. Look at Howard Schultz, founder of Starbucks. Did you know Schultz grew up in the projects of Brooklyn? No money, no connections, no easy road. And when he proposed his revolutionary idea for Starbucks, turning a simple coffee shop into a culture, over 200 investors told him no. Some even laughed at him. But what they didn't understand was, Schultz wasn't driven by money. He was driven by vision. Chosen one, vision will always attract opposition, because vision threatens comfort zones. Some people will resist you not because you're doing wrong, but because you dared to dream bigger than them. Your success reveals their stagnation. Listen closely. Not everyone walking with you is for you. Some people secretly celebrated when you failed. Some smiled when you lost that job. Some were comfortable with you staying small because your rise exposed their laziness. Understand this spiritual principle. The moment God marks you, the enemy monitors you, not to destroy you immediately, but to discourage you gradually. See, the devil doesn't have new tricks. He just uses old tactics on new dreamers. He used jealousy to attack Joseph. He used rejection to attack David. He used isolation to attack Jesus. And today he's using discouragement to attack you. But here's the good news. Opposition is proof of elevation. Real-life story. J.K. Rowling's breakthrough after rejection. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter, was a single mother living on welfare. She was rejected by 12 different publishers before someone said yes. People told her the story wouldn't sell. Some called it childish, but here's the twist. The very thing people dismissed became the story that built her empire. Do you see the pattern, chosen one? Sometimes rejection is not a wall, it's a redirection. The greater the calling, the greater the crushing. There's a refining process that happens before God launches you into destiny. Don't let social media fool you. Elevation without preparation will destroy a person. That's why Joseph had to sit in the prison before he sat in the palace. That's why Oprah had to be fired before she became a billionaire. That's why you had to be betrayed before stepping into blessing. You weren't being punished, you were being processed. Chucked. Here's the spiritual lesson. Not every closed door is an attack. Some are a gift. Listen carefully. Not every person walking away from you is a loss. Some people were a lesson, some jobs were a test, some relationships were an assignment that has now expired. Don't chase what God is trying to protect you from. Isaiah 54:17. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Notice something. The verse does not say no weapon will form. It says the weapon will form, but it will not prosper. Chosen one, the gossip may form, the betrayal may form, the delay may form, but it will not prosper. You are built to rise from what tried to break you. Look at your life right now. Think about the storms you've already survived. Think about the betrayals that didn't kill you. Think about the days you thought you wouldn't make it. And yet here you are, stronger, sharper, wiser, more dangerous to the enemy than ever before. Think about Nelson Mandela. Mandela spent 27 years in prison for fighting apartheid in South Africa. They tried to break him. They tried to silence him. But prison didn't break Mandela. It built him. When he was finally released, he didn't seek revenge. He stepped into purpose. He became the first black president of South Africa. He led with forgiveness, vision, and strength. Chosen one, you are in good company. The greatest leaders always face the greatest resistance. So here's what I want you to remember. If you are facing unusual opposition, if doors are closing, if people are betraying you, it's not because you're cursed. It's because you're chosen. You are carrying something that shakes the atmosphere. You are walking in a destiny that hell cannot control, and because of that, you will be opposed, but you will not be defeated. God is not punishing you. He is positioning you. Your pain has purpose. Your rejection is redirection. Your loss is preparation. Stay faithful. Stay focused. Stay ready. Because just like Joseph, just like Oprah, just like Mandela, your prison season is preparing you for the palace. And when you rise, you won't just rise quietly. You will rise divinely, unstoppable, unapologetic, unforgettable. What looks like delay is actually alignment. Chosen one, if you've been feeling stuck, overlooked, wondering why things haven't happened for you yet, I need you to hear this. Delay is not denial. Delay is divine strategy. Right now, Heaven is moving pieces you cannot see, positioning people, opportunities, resources, all to meet you at the exact moment God has ordained. But it doesn't feel like that, does it? It feels like silence. It feels like waiting. It feels like everyone else is moving ahead, while you're standing still. Trust me, you're not standing still. You're standing in alignment. Transition to teaching moment. We live in a world that celebrates fast money, fast success, fast attention. Social media shows people going viral overnight, businesses blowing up in a month, relationships that look perfect in a highlight reel. But the truth is, fast things break easy, fast things don't last. Chosen ones aren't built for fast, they're built for forever. Think about the bamboo tree. It's one of the most powerful lessons in nature. When a bamboo seed is planted for years, literally years, nothing happens above ground. To the outside world, it looks like failure. It looks like a dead seed. It looks like a waste of time. But what no one sees is that beneath the surface, a root system is expanding far and wide, anchoring itself deep into the soil. And then, when the time is right, the bamboo doesn't just grow, it shoots up feet in just days. Why? Because what looked like delay was actually preparation. It was building unseen strength to handle visible success. Chosen one, that's what God is doing in you. This is why your life has felt like a construction zone behind the scenes. God was building things no one else saw. Character, patience, wisdom, spiritual depth. Not so you could impress people, but so you could handle blessing without crumbling under the weight of it. Fast blessing without preparation becomes a curse. But delayed blessing with preparation? That's legacy. Think about Oprah Winfrey. Before she became one of the most influential women in the world, she was fired from her first TV job. They told her she wasn't fit for television. Can you imagine? Had she exploded in fame before her character was ready, it would have crushed her. But the years of rejection and waiting prepared her to not only handle success, but to redefine it. That's what God is doing with you. Your rejection wasn't a wall. It was a door to something higher. Your delay wasn't punishment. It was positioning. Joseph in the Bible knew something about delay. Thrown in a pit by his own brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused, imprisoned for years. If anyone had a reason to think God forgot about them, it was Joseph. But the whole time, while Joseph was in the waiting room of life, God was aligning him with Pharaoh, aligning him with influence, aligning him with resources. And when the time came, Joseph didn't just survive. He became second in command of Egypt. Let that sink in. What looked like delay was divine strategy all along. Chosen one, you're not behind, you're not late, you didn't miss it. You're being hidden for a purpose. God hides what he values. Diamonds form in the dark, gold is refined in the fire, and powerful leaders are shaped in silence. This is your season of underground growth, and I know it's hard. I know the waiting room feels lonely. I know you see others being elevated, promoted, celebrated, and you're asking God, what about me? But let me tell you something bold. If God is making you wait longer than others, it's because what he's building in you is greater than what he's building in them. He's not making you wait to hurt you. He's making you wait because he loves you too much to give you something you're not ready to carry. This is about legacy. This is about impact. Do you know that Colonel Sanders, the man who founded KFC, didn't achieve success until he was in his 60s? Before that, he faced countless failures. His recipe was rejected over 1,000 times before someone said yes. Now his legacy feeds millions around the world. Had he quit because of the delay, the world would have never tasted what he was cooking. Neither will the world taste what you're building if you give up now. So what do you do in the waiting? Simple. Stay faithful in the small. Be excellent with what's in your hand, even if it feels insignificant. David was a shepherd before he was king. Joseph was a prisoner before he was a leader. Oprah was rejected before she was honored. The wilderness seasons produce the strongest warriors, the ones who don't fold when life gets silent, the ones who stay ready, even when nobody's watching. That's what separates the chosen from the common. Stay in alignment, stay in purpose, stay in expectation, because what's coming, it's not small, it's not ordinary, it's not fast and fragile, it's big, it's lasting, and it's going to require every ounce of strength God has been developing in you. Right now. Remember this, delay is not denial, delay is divine preparation. When God finally says now, you won't have to force the door open, it will swing wide because it was built for you. And those who doubted you, those who thought your silence was weakness, they'll watch in awe as you rise with grace, power, and unshakable wisdom. Chosen one. The wait hasn't been easy, but the wait has been worth it. Stay ready, your time is coming, your alignment is happening, and when it does, everything will make sense. Money and influence will chase purpose, not desperation. Chosen one. What if I told you everything you've been taught about chasing success is backwards? In a world obsessed with hustle, competition, and chasing the next opportunity, you've been called to live differently. You weren't created to chase money. You weren't built to run after influence, because real power doesn't chase. Real power attracts. Let me expose the lie for what it is. Culture tells you, grind harder, work 24/7, chase the bag, run yourself into the ground. But here's what no one tells you. People who spend their life chasing often end up tired, burned out, and still empty inside. Because desperation has a frequency. It pushes blessings away. But purpose has a magnetic pull. When you move with purpose, money, influence, connections, and resources start chasing you. Not because you're loud, not because you're forcing it, but because your energy has shifted from survival mode to divine alignment. Think about J.K. Rowling, one of the richest authors in the world. She didn't start writing Harry Potter for money. She was broke, depressed, a single mom living on welfare. By every measure of the world, she had nothing. But what did she have? Purpose. She had a story burning inside her that she refused to let die, even when publishers rejected her 12 times. She wasn't writing for fame. She was writing because she had to. And that's why the world couldn't ignore her. She didn't chase success, she became success. And once she became it, money chased her. Chosen one. This is the pattern heaven uses. God never asked you to chase after what was already yours. He asked you to become the version of yourself that could carry it. Big difference. The world says, get rich, then you'll be happy. Heaven says, get aligned, then you'll overflow. Money isn't the goal. Purpose is. Because purpose is what sustains you when money fluctuates. Let me give you another example. A farmer never chases the harvest. He doesn't run through the field screaming for crops to grow. What does he do? He cultivates. He plants seeds, he waters them. He protects the soil, and when the time is right, the harvest comes to him. That's how divine prosperity works. You're not supposed to chase results. You're supposed to create the conditions for results to find you. Work on your character. Work on your craft, work on your integrity, work on your energy. Money follows mastery, influence follows authenticity. Blessings follow those who have built the roots to sustain the fruit. Look at Steve Jobs. He wasn't trying to make a quick buck. He was obsessed with creating something excellent. He wasn't chasing competitor. He was chasing better questions. He focused on building something beautiful, simple, and useful. Money wasn't his master. Vision was. And because of that, resources, investors, and global attention chased him. Not because he begged for it, but because he embodied it. This is not just a business principle. It's a biblical principle. Matthew 6:33 says, "Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you." not chased by you, added to you. There's a difference between chasing the blessing and becoming the person who the blessing is already looking for. Practical application, speaking to the viewer. Chosen one. I know it's hard. I know the world makes you feel like you're behind. You see people online living their best life. You see people flaunting luxury, cars, trips, followers, and you wonder, am I doing something wrong because I'm not there yet? Absolutely not. You're doing it the right way, because fast money fades, quick fame destroys, but legacy is built slowly, brick by brick, decision by decision, purpose over popularity, and when you stay faithful, what you need will find you. It has no choice. Your alignment will act like a spiritual magnet. Opportunities will start showing up. People will start recommending you in rooms you didn't even know existed. Money will flow, not because you begged, but because you became. Even in small things, the principle holds true. Have you ever noticed that the people who aren't desperate for attention are the most respected? The employee who focuses on adding value gets promoted. The person who serves with joy gets noticed. The creative who stays consistent gets discovered. It's not magic, it's energy. Desperation repels, purpose attracts. Chosen one. This is your season to stop chasing. Stop begging for things that are already assigned to your name. Start becoming. Become the version of you that can hold the blessing without losing your peace. Become the version of you that can handle wealth without being controlled by it. Become the version of you that stays humble, even when influence comes. Because influence is coming, wealth is coming, doors are coming, not because you're chasing, but because you're aligned. Let me leave you with this truth. The blessing isn't running from you, it's looking for you. But it's looking for the version of you who is healed, the version of you who is whole, the version of you who isn't desperate for validation, because you already know who you are. Remember this, money is a tool, influence is a tool. Neither of them were ever designed to be your master. They are designed to serve your mission. When you stay locked into your purpose, what you need will chase you. Doors will open, resources will find you, favor will multiply, because heaven doesn't reward chasing, heaven rewards becoming. Stay planted, stay patient, stay powerful. The harvest isn't lost, it's being grown in silence, and when it's ready, it's going to overwhelm you, not because you chased it, but because you became the person it was always meant to find. Chosen one, let me remind you of something sacred. Your life was never designed to look like everyone else's. Your journey was never supposed to be easy, predictable, or comfortable. Because ordinary paths don't lead to extraordinary purpose. You've been wondering why life has felt heavier for you, why your battles seem harder, why the road feels lonelier. It's because your calling carries weight. Diamonds aren't formed in comfort, they're formed under pressure. Oaks don't grow tall in shallow soil, they go deep where no one can see. And warriors are shaped in hidden battles long before anyone applauds. Chosen one, you've been set apart, not rejected, not forgotten, set apart. And there is a huge difference. See, when you're buried, you're forgotten. But when you're planted, you're prepared. Planted things look invisible for a season, but they are growing stronger beneath the surface. Roots are forming, strength is building, stability is taking shape, and when the time comes, when heaven says now, nothing can stop what was growing in silence. Let them wonder, let them talk. Not everyone was assigned to understand your process, and that's okay. Your calling doesn't need confirmation. Your destiny doesn't need approval. What you survived is proof enough. You didn't quit, you didn't fold, you didn't let the pain turn your heart bitter, and because of that, because you stayed grounded when others lost themselves, you're about to rise, not in arrogance, not in revenge, not in noise, but in quiet power. Chosen one, the shift is already happening. The doors that once closed in your face, they are about to swing open, not because you chased them, but because you became. because you cultivated character in private, because you stayed humble when you could have flexed, because you walked in integrity when no one was watching. This world rewards appearance, but heaven rewards authenticity. Your harvest is coming, and when it does, you won't have to explain yourself. Your life will speak louder than words, so here's the truth I want you to carry with you. You were never buried, you were planted, and now it's your season to rise. Rise in confidence, rise in faith, rise in quiet power. Let them wonder how you did it. Let them study your strength, because they never saw the nights you cried. They never saw the silent battles you fought, but heaven saw, and heaven rewards those who endure without losing themselves. This is not just a comeback. This is your becoming, chosen one. If this message spoke to your soul, I want you to declare it right now in the comments. I'm ready for what's already mine. Say it like you believe it. Say it like heaven is listening, because it is. And don't forget, like this video to align your energy. Subscribe, stay connected. Because what's coming next for you, it's not small, it's not ordinary, it's divine. This isn't the end of your story, it's just the beginning. Your rise is inevitable, your time is here, and the world is about to witness what heaven has been preparing all along. Stay ready, stay planted, stay powerful. Your season is now.